Hello everyone and welcome back to the Film Expo South SoundCloud channel. I'm Josh and today I'm joined by Mark Collins. Mark is a local actor, writer and director who has credits in feature films, short films, TV and commercials. In 2013, Mark's short film Rapid Intervention made it to the Cannes Film Festival, and recently he started making his own feature film, Vectis. Hi Mark, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, Josh.
Good. So how long have you been acting?
Really, I started taking it seriously about 5 years ago, just over 5 years ago. Previous to that, I was more interested in writing and directing. I started working on various different films, just in different departments, trying to get experience so that I could direct in the future. I didn't particularly want to go to film school because of the time and stuff, so I thought I'd just learn on the job, go on and learn hands-on. And one of the first films, the first two films I worked on actually, one was called Brown. One of the actors didn't show. I was actually a set builder on that film.
Yeah.
And the director asked me if I could step in because the actor hadn't shown that morning for whatever reason. One of the actors, and I was about the same profile, same age and stuff. And he thought I looked right for the part, so he just said, do you mind staying in? I'll give you some lines, learn a bit of scripts, and can you do that for us today? So I agreed, which, because it's such short notice, I didn't have much time to worry about it. So I learnt the lines. I've been working with the guys as well already on the set, so I knew everyone. But it wasn't something I was thinking about doing. But on the way home, I was on the same train as him, and he said, "Camera really likes you. It's something maybe you should think about doing, acting, doing some training." So I said, yeah, not really for me. Yeah. And
then here we are.
Yeah, and it happened a few times actually. I got pulled in front of the camera and I was doing other jobs on set.
Sort of by chance then, that sort of thing.
Yeah, really. And then another director, this was later on, said you should think about doing some acting. So I decided then to maybe look into it and do a bit of training, and I thought it'd help me as a director anyway. Just by doing the training, it helped me work with actors and stuff. So, yeah, went from there really.
Yeah, and looking at your biography on your website, you were into filmmaking, that sort of stuff. You were quite late into the game, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, 37, 38 years old when I started thinking about it. Really. Yeah.
What was it that made you go into the industry? What was it that gave you the push?
I was invited to be part of a TV programme called Confidence Lab on BBC Two, because the production team were interested in my story, because at the time I was a bricklayer, but I was also writing a lot of poetry. So they thought the contrast of bricklayer writing poetry was...
Yeah, it's not the sort of thing you'd think would go hand in hand, would it?
No. So, yeah, I was invited to do this thing. It was like an experiment called Confidence Lab, just helping people change their lives, basically. Giving them the confidence to do what they felt they wanted to do inside, sort of thing. It was just, bringing out that creative side of them. And so that's what it helped me, and it helped by being involved in the programme, because I was saw behind the scenes what was going on. I got to know the director, Ian Denyer, quite well. I just felt at home there in that sort of setting. So I just thought, well, this is something I really want to pursue and see if I can take it any further.
Obviously, it worked, that programme.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So when about did you decide to direct and write, and why do you want to direct and write your own stuff and not direct someone else's stuff? Yeah,
it started from the writing side, and I just thought it's like when I'm writing, I'm visualising it as a film. It's sort of playing out in my mind anyway. So I thought, I'm not sure if I'll be able to get someone else to do those sort of shots I've got in mind. So I'd probably be better off learning how to direct myself. That's why I started working on different sets. And so really it was just so I just done it to actually direct the films that I'm writing. I have thought about directing other people's films, but it's something that maybe I'd do in the future. It's just for now I thought that I just stick to directing the stuff I've written, because I've already got the vision for it.
Yeah, you've already got your creative vision, so you can create it how you want rather than how someone else's wants.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
What would you say one of the biggest difficulties of writing is?
it's sitting down and writing every day. It's getting the inspiration really because I find that I'll get the inspiration for something, and then I'll go at it full on. But then I'll have times like happened recently actually, where I don't feel I'm not really feeling it at all. I'm not getting anything coming, so I'd
Sort of writer's block.
yeah, that type of thing. Yeah, I've read lots of books and stuff and heard lots of people talk about writer's block, and they just said just continue to write even if it's rubbish. Just sit down every day and write something. Yeah, so I'd always encourage people to do that.
And you've written numerous things. Looking at your credits on your website, what is the favourite thing that you've written?
Probably Rapid Intervention, only because it was the first film that I decided to sit down and write, and it evolved quite a lot as well. The actual process, it sort of went from one thing to another. Yeah, and I've actually written more. I've written like a TV miniseries as well, based on those characters, which I haven't really done anything with. I've got it sitting there, so I think that one probably is my favourite. The one I enjoyed the most, I think, was I've written a feature film called Vigilante Vickers, which is a dark comedy, black comedy.
Sounds like an interesting one.
Yeah, which was quite a bit of it was quite fun thinking about that. Yeah, and that's the next film after Vectis that I'm planning to make, providing Vectis goes well and I get the funding, all the funders get their money back and stuff.
Yeah, well, you were ready to start filming, weren't you?
We were planning to start shooting sort of in June, which is around now.
Yeah, and the whole industry has come to a standstill pretty much. What was your first reaction for that?
I was, really deflated, I think that's the word for it. Yeah. Because I sort of realised that the people that are willing to back me, some of the people that are willing to fund the film, they were going to maybe rethink it because of the financial situation. Which obviously without the money, you can't do anything. And just the whole, because as well, I usually build up when I made Rapid Intervention, for instance. I just build up it's like a ball, sort of a rock rolling down a hill. It starts building up momentum, and it gathers everything as you go. So I really just started the ball rolling really. And
then this started the ball stopping.
Yeah. It's sort of and I just realised, I'm not going to be able to do this, and it was because of the unpredictability of like timings and stuff. Even now, we're not really sure, what's happening. If there's going to be a second, wave or whatever, then, so you can't really plan too far ahead. I'm just waiting to hear now, really, and possibly later this year. If not, I'll have to put it back till next year.
Yeah, that'd be a shame. Have you been doing anything to do with the project? Have you been looking back at the scripts, stuff like that?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I'm sort of rethinking some of it actually, which is giving me time to really rethink and try and make it the best I can. So I'm just editing the script. Also, I made a short teaser for the film between Christmas and New Year, and I've been looking at that and trying to improve it, trying to work on it before I release it. As I said, the problem is because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I never come to a place where I'm really happy with what I've done.
Sort of like you have so much time that you can look at the script and you're like, oh that's good, and then the next day like, oh no, I don't like that again, and it keeps on going, and then like almost like spiraling, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So when you've said you reckon hopefully later this year or maybe next year, obviously that's going to be, are you going to have to find like different like cast or maybe or crew then?
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Most of the cast I'm hoping will still be okay for when we start. Yeah, Alex, who's the main antagonist, Alex Woods, he's playing a character called Silo. He's said he's definitely on board for it still, yeah. And I've got Tori Ellen Ross. She was in Fighting With My Family with Dwayne The Rock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's playing Rosie in the film. She's local. She lives on the Isle of Wight. Yeah, and she's really keen to do it, and her dad's really keen for her to do it as well. So yeah, all the main people are still in place. I'm actually going to play the commander Ian Stace, who's Rosie's dad, who's in the film.
So I know Vectis is the old name for the Isle of Wight, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
So what would the film be about?
It's set in the near future, post-apocalyptic, which, again, is one of the things that I'm not sure if it's going to be at the moment. It's sort of, obviously... so that's one of the things I've been working on the script, maybe try and make it a bit more light-hearted, but it's set in the not-too-distant future after a predicted mega tsunami has destroyed a third of the world population and most of the infrastructure. The UK is now tribal and violent gangs running things on the mainland. Commander Stace and his daughter Rosie, they escaped to the Isle of Wight because it's somewhere they used to go when they were younger, and it's because the Isle of Wight's self-sufficient, powered by renewable energy, dairy farms, and still got agriculture and stuff going. The only problem is that those assets start attracting like ruthless gangs.
Yeah,
because they want the assets. So they set up a small army to protect the island, basically. But there's lots of other things going on. Like Ian Stace, he's got an alcohol problem that only his daughter knows about, and she's trying to help conceal it. Rosie's mum and Ian's wife was brutally raped and murdered prior to them moving to the island.
Yeah, I can see why you would want to change some elements of the film, obviously, with the current situation that's going on.
Yeah.
So, obviously, there's going to be social distancing in place for quite a while. They're saying until vaccine is found or something like that. Do you reckon that the production is now going to take... Obviously, it's going to take longer because you've had to have the huge gap in production, but is it going to take longer to film because you can't have as many people around, or...?
Yeah, I'm assuming it will do, yeah. Yeah, Obviously we have to do the risk assessments, which are usual anyway, but we have to take a lot more into account. So depending on when we start filming, and it's down to other people as well, the other actors and stuff, that what they're happy with. I have to be careful at the moment because my wife's actually, she was on a vulnerable list.
Ooh, good.
So I have to be careful about where I go because I haven't been out of the house that much recently.
Yeah.
Because I don't bring anything back to the house. Yeah, so I've just got to take all those things into account.
Yeah, and obviously if it takes longer, potentially that could mean more cost, couldn't it?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so you've got to think about that when going to investors and such, I guess.
Yeah, and maybe doing it over a longer period as well. I suppose the beauty of it, we can break it down into smaller, doing it in smaller stages over a longer period of time. That's one reason why I wanted to get local actors and crew on board, because then obviously the cost of transport and stuff is less. Yeah, so that's I did take that into account when we were casting and budgeting for the film.
Yeah. So obviously, Film Expo South can actually help with that because we have a list of cast, of crew, of that sort of stuff. So if you ever needed help or anything, obviously we'd be able to provide contacts for you potentially. So that would be good because you just said you wanted local people. Obviously we're Dorset, Hampshire, and Isle of Wight, so that would definitely keep the costs down for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. There's some things that I probably will need going into filming. Yeah, well, definitely. So far, I've been doing the producing myself, but it would be good to get a producer on board, also a distributor as well, and the usual thing as well that every filmmaker wants: financial backers. Yeah, I've got some local businesses that had pledged money. But I'm just going to see how they are. But I'm still hopeful. Hoping it's going to be okay. I'm forever the optimist.
So you've just been cast in something. First of all, what is it, and how's that going to work with the restrictions? Yeah,
it's another local film called The Last Room, written and directed by Paul Bird. I've got the role of Vincent, who's basically a gangster boss, a bit of a nasty character. We've just been told that hopefully we're shooting sort of the end of July, but again we're going to have to be careful. And the scene is quite a good film actually to start with, because it's mainly set in one room, so there's not a lot of locations, and there's maximum, I think it's 3-4 people in the room, and they don't have to be close together apart from one scene
Yeah.
which we should be able to work our way around. Yes, it should. It's definitely doable.
I guess the smaller the team, the easier it is to do something like this.
Yeah, definitely. I prefer working with a small team, which hopefully you can do with Vectis as well. You can shoot faster. Yeah, it's just a lot easier in a lot of ways. Obviously, later on, it'd be good to work with a big production team. I've worked on on a few Hollywood productions.
I just saw War Machine is one of your credits.
Yeah.
That's quite impressive. What's the biggest project that you've worked on?
Well, there's a few actually. I worked on Mission Impossible. Unfortunately, my scene was cut, but that was obviously a big budget.
Yeah.
And the scene, I worked out roughly. I sort of done a quick calculation. The scene that we were in, it was a stunt scene with Tom Cruise. I sort of guesstimated it was about £300,000 just to shoot that scene.
Blimey.
And yeah, that's the sort of budget I'm looking for my next feature film, not for the whole film.
Blimey. It wasn't the scene where he broke his leg or something trying to do it, was it?
It didn't break his leg, no. It was quite a complicated stunt scene with a lot of people involved. The scale of it was massive, yeah.
Was it actually him doing it as well?
Yeah.
Wow. And £300,000 and it just got cut. It shows you how big the budgets are for those sort of movies, doesn't it?
Yeah, and obviously if something doesn't work or if it's not working in the story or if they don't need it, but it gives you an insight, working on those sort of things to what really goes on and yeah.
Well, it sort of also shows how the film industry is going to work after this, because obviously if they can afford to just drop £300,000 worth of footage, they should be okay after this, but it's going to be small films or short films or productions like yours that are going to be negatively affected, isn't it?
Yeah. Hopefully not too much.
It's a shame.
Mark, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure to keep an eye out for Vectis, hopefully coming soon, fingers crossed. Situation providing.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be. It's going to come together.
Once again, I've been Josh, and this has been Film Expo South, working with the Hampshire, Dorset and Isle of Wight film officers.